What is good, people? It is Open Night, and today we have Mono Water featuring Choice Band Barraskewda. Now, I wanted to build a Mono Water team because it's one of the strongest types out there, and it's pretty fun to build because I think there are a lot of choices this gen particularly. And I picked Choice Band Barraskewda for our main breaker, or at least one Pokemon that I wanted to build around because I've used this thing in OU and it is amazing. We have an amazing 123 attack stat with 136 speed, and in rain this thing doubles up to 742 speed. I don't even know a single Scarfer that could be faster than that. Maybe Regieleki, but who the heck runs Scarf Regieleki, right? So we also have 123 attack, and because we're so fast, we are able to run Adamant, which boosts us to an insane 379 attack, which is amazing for just blowing holes in a lot of Pokemon. We have Waterfall for stab. Another good option is Liquidation if you prefer the more damage, the higher damage roll with 85 as compared to Waterfall being 80, except with Waterfall obviously you get the chance to flinch, whereas with Liquidation you're looking at a defense drop instead. Now I think if we're trying to play very optimally, Liquidation is obviously better, since you always want the more power and not to rely on your 4 something percent just to sorry, not 4%, your 20% chance to flinch something. But Waterfall's cool too. Flinching is always going to induce rage, and sometimes that's what we want to see. After that, we have Close Combat, Psychic Fangs, and Crunch. Not really much to cover these. These are just the best moves that you can run on this. I guess if you really need that priority, you can run Aqua Jet, although I don't really think Barraskewda isn't going to need it considering how fast it is. Another option is Flip Turn if you want to keep up momentum. Yeah, I think that just about covers it. This thing doesn't really have an expansive move pool or something, except it does have pretty amazing moves that it can still use, like these 4. So Psychic Fangs mostly for Pex and things like that. Crunch is just good all around because of the defense drop. Close Combat is the strongest 100 power accuracy move. Yeah, well, Sting learns 3, so I guess we're gonna go with CC for obvious reasons. And then Waterfall, obviously we have a nice stab, and in rain it's gonna do amazing damage. Now we have a natural partner for Barraskewda and Seismitoad, because Barraskewda can break physically, whereas Seismitoad can break on the special side, and thankfully this thing also set up rocks for us, so we have that going and we don't need any of the rock setters. I went for Surf here over Hydro Pump because I just don't like missing. Earth Power for stab, and Grass Knot is for opposing teams. Now this thing learns Water Absorb if I want to use, I don't really need a Water Absorb on because I already have Volcanion for that, but obviously in this team, when we're going with offensive Seismitoad, we want Swift Swim, and we're going to have Life Orb to boost this damage output because it only has 85 special attack, which is pretty bad. I guess another option is to make this thing physical if we really want, but since we're already running physical Barraskewda, we don't really need it. Having this thing break on the special side is going to be a lot better, especially against electric teams, because we can just spam Earth Power for the most part, and they don't really eat Surf very well either, right? So following that, obviously we have 2 Swift Swim Pokemon, so we're going to need Pelipper to set up rain for us. Smogon suggests using either Scarf or Specs and then just going for 4 attacks. Personally, I just prefer to have some kind of longevity with Pelipper, so that I can set up rain as many times as I want. And obviously for that we have Boots on this thing instead of lefties. Skull, Roost, Defog, and U-Turn is your standard defensive set in OU, except some people like to run Hurricane, and I thought Roost was just better for I think they run Hurricane over U-Turn. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, I just thought Roost and U-Turn were better because you get momentum and you also get to keep Pelipper healthy. And I'm going with full Spidef investment because we don't have any other Spidef tanks in here, and also Pelipper is pretty well, it does well on the defensive side because it already has a nice natural 100 base defense, so putting all of it in Spidef just means it's just bulkier all around. Now I have Choice Scarf Volcanion here. to kind of cover, I'll kind of cover Feeny and Volcanion together. So Volcanion with a Scarf and Feeny with lefties are the two wild cards that I chose for this team. I think they're very dependent on what kind of teams you come across, right? So for instance, if we come across a bug type team, we can just spam flamethrower. Steam eruption is also pretty spammable, especially in the rain, and then we have Scald for regular damage as well. But just having the fire coverage, even though we have a rain team, is pretty nice because we're able to go into Volcanion and then kind of just start throwing flamethrowers off instantly. The only thing that we need to be worried about is that Volcanion has it maxes out at 262 speed, and with the Choice Scarf it comes up to 393 speed, which is exactly one less than Tapu Koko, which as you can see will destroy this whole team if we don't have rain set up. So that's something that you kind of have to play around, but I think Volcanion also takes into account pretty much every other fast electric type, and we're able to get a nice Steam Eruption off on those. Should probably just quit Telegram here. Okay. And then obviously we're running Water Absorb because it's the only ability it learns. I think Scald and Sludge Wave are entirely up to you. You could run anything else you want. You could run Earth Power for Heatran. You could run Fire Blast for more fire coverage. Yeah, this thing learns a bunch of some nice moves. Like there's even Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave, which I'm also running here. Honestly, I mean, I guess Weather Ball is also an option if you don't want Scald, right? So yeah, this thing learns a lot of good moves, so it's really up to you. But I just threw this for flavor, but I think if we're talking about building a more optimized build, you're probably gonna go with, let's see, Gyarados is good. I think Gyarados, DD Gyarados specifically, is a very good partner for Barraskewda to help it break on the physical side. Rotom Wash is also good. I think it has, we're able to take on opposing rain teams, which means, opposing water type teams, which means Seismitoad can run Sludge Wave instead. Tentacruel is also fine. So yeah, there are a few options that you can go with. I just like the offensive presence that Volcanion gives us, and also this thing has a very nice 130 special attack, so those Scarf Steam Eruptions in the rain are gonna hurt. Now Tapu Fini, this is your typical Calm Mind Draining Kiss Fini, except I'm running fully defensive. The only reason why I'm running this is because Misty Surge will let us prevent any kind of status on Barraskewda, especially if someone tries to burn it with Flame Body or something, or any kind of status really. Like if someone sets up spikes on us, if we can get rid of them with Pex, but we just need to be able to not make sure that these two don't get hit because neither of them have recovery, so Fini will help with that. And Lefties obviously is the best item you have. And after that we have Calm Mind Taunt, Draining Kiss, Surf, Bold, Max Defense. Did I want to cover anything else about this? Oh yeah, Fini is actually pretty great as a late game sweeper, because it actually, look at its special attack and defense, it's actually pretty decent. So I think it's possible that this thing can actually put in work late in the game. And then to finally finish off the team, I have Toxapex with the Black Sludge and Regenerator, and then we have your standard set. I'm running Knockoff to deal with Indeedee, which likes to switch in on this, and then I'm running this weird ass 379 defense and 379 Spadefsa just to kind of make it bulky on all over, kind of like Pelipper, to be honest, because we don't really have many defensive options with this team. But I think that's that, and I will be right back with the game. Alright people, so I managed to find a game against a mono normal team, and I'm choosing this game not because it was particularly interesting in terms of matchups, but it was a crazy game in which both of us had an insanely strong chance to win, but we both just choked it away because we both suck, or at least we don't know how to play this team properly. But I just want to show you how even like the slightest mistake can just make you lose. Like one turn in which you're sleeping it could just mean the difference between a win and a loss. And I think this game kind of just goes through that. So with that, I'll kind of just jump in to the game. Now going in, obviously, Heliolist destroys my entire team, and I go into Pelipper because I have to set up Brain so that Barraskewda can come in and put in work, so I didn't really have an option. Now, what really surprised me is the fact that my opponent went for Volt Switch, because I think Grass Knot is always the best play there. This Pelipper, even with specs, it's not actually doing any sort of damage to this thing, so they could have easily predicted the Seismitoad and went for Grass Knot. So my opponent fucked up there once, and they let me have damage on this Heliolist for no reason. But turns out it was Focus Sash, so I didn't even have a chance to kill it, and then they revenge kill me with Grass Knot, which is fine. Still manageable because I have my main win con, which is Barraskewda. It just comes in and then clicks close combat on everything, right? So I go into Barraskewda, and then they go into Beware. It's not living, obviously. We just CC this thing, and then one more CC should kill it. And then Bear Pink Boy is officially a dead boy. And then my opponent goes into Milk Tank. Now, I go into Pex here because at fully physically defensive, I can't kill that thing, and I was really afraid of this happening to Barraskewda, which is a paralysis. So I kind of just wanted to go in there and scout. I go into PZ, and here I kind of wanted to set up spikes, but then I get paralyzed. Now it turns out they're psychic, which is crazy. To be fair, I think I should have gone to Feeny because Feeny wasn't really doing anything this game, but I just stayed in with Pex because I thought I could just get that spike up so that I could inflict some damage on Milk Tank, and I didn't think Tri Attack would kill me, but these just crit through, which is annoying, but it's fine. We go into Barraskewda here again. Now, that was a horrible misplay by me because if they were Scarf, they just click Psychic again and then this thing is dead. So I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I thought they were Specs, but I should not have made that play. I should, at least like if I made this play just to bait out whatever it had, I should have swapped out into Pelipper or Feeny to kind of see what it was going to do. And then, but they switch out, which was a horrible misplay on their part, and then the CC, and then turns out this Milk Tank wasn't even fully physically defensive, which means we claim another victim on their team. Now, the fact that they brought this back in is what made me suspect that this thing was Scarf to, oops, my bad. It's what made me suspect that this was Scarf, but I was also like at this point, I was equally confused that they didn't just go for Tri Attack then. Though, I think to be fair, I wasn't too afraid of Barraskewda dying because Volcanion just comes in and then, I mean, Blissey could be definitely annoying, but can't even beat Blissey. I don't think I can. I mean, yeah, I guess I could have beaten Blissey with Feeny in the end game, so it wasn't like it was fine to sack Barraskewda, but still the safest play would have always been to going to Pelipper or Feeny to scout what this thing had. But anyway, so go into Feeny, and then my opponent goes for Tri Attack, which is all fine. I should probably have done this before with Pex, but like I said, it's totally fine. Tri Attacks again, and then at this point I just wanted to sack Feeny because I didn't really think it was doing anything, because we only needed Barraskewda for as long as Blissey was alive, and sorry, we only need Feeny for as long as we could do something about it, and he had special attackers and two special attackers and one physical attacker, so Feeny wasn't really doing much there. And then, okay, so this is where Pelipper being Spidef really comes in handy, because if we were Scarf for Specs, I'm pretty sure we would have just died to that one Tri Attack, but the fact that we're not and we're Spidef means that we're able to come in and set up Rain again, and in a metagame where Damproc is banned because it's too broken, being able to set up Rain is definitely going to come at a premium. So we U-turn out, and then obviously we go into Barraskewda again, which just claims skills, and then I'm just going to click normal speed now. I was a little bit afraid Braviary might have Sucker Punch. I don't know if it actually gets Sucker Punch, but if it had, it would have been a really tough game, I think, but turns out they didn't have it. They go into Heliolist, which they sack, which I'm cool with. And then they go into Blissey, which they have to sack. And then, see, in this situation, if I didn't have Bellabear to set up rain for me again, PZ would have just won Quick and Cry attack. But thankfully, I have that to come in and then set up rain again, which, like I said, being able to set up rain when we have no damn proc is going to be huge. And after that, we just go into Barraskewda, and CC is going to win, so my opponent just forfeited. Now, this was a game in which I misplayed significantly with Barraskewda. I think I should have not switched it in without rain on PZ, but my opponent makes a even worse mistake by switching out. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure anything this thing has can kill Barraskewda, because it's at +1, and come on, Barraskewda has horrible defenses, both speed def and defense, and its HP is not great either, so I don't know why my opponent did that. But that is the game. I do think that this game is a really good learning point for how you just need to be better than your opponent in terms of like making plays, and you can still win even if overall both of you are ass or both of you are good. It doesn't even matter. You just need to play better than your opponent to win. And I kind of hope you guys understand that from this game. And with that, I think that's all that I had for this video. If you like this team, please leave a like and subscribe. If you like me explaining things this way, also leave a like and subscribe. As usual, I've dropped this team down in the description. Feel free to use it, make any modifications of your own. If you have any suggestions for the team, leave it down in the comments for anyone who might want to use this team. And yeah, that's all I had for this team. And I think my next team might be a mono grass team. I will be building that one for my friend Bryce. Shout out to him because his favorite type is grass. And I have a pretty cool idea in mind, not gonna lie. Hopefully it pays off, and I'll be back with another team probably next week. Peace.